Yo, I really like our intro song, bro. It's really a bop. Like I really love our intro song, man. Like want to start dancing, all those shaking, all that to it, man. But you didn't hear the voice. Welcome back to another episode of House of Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Dwayne Hewitt. I'm here with my dog Chris Z in the building. DL is not here with us today, so it was just a two-man operation. But we still had to get you guys some content and get you guys some picks before the week 3 game, since we didn't do it in week 2. Got to make sure we're staying consistent with that. Few housekeeping things. If you're on YouTube, make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you're on any audio podcast service, Spotify, Apple Music, Apple iPodcasts, Google Podcasts, make sure you guys write a review and then go to YouTube and hit that like button. Getting more and more consistent views, then we're going to make sure we're bringing out more consistent content for you guys. Before we get started into the episode, Chubb, you got anything you want to say to the people?
Just excited I get to watch my game tomorrow. Past couple weeks, I haven't been able to watch the Ravens game at all. Maybe I got to watch like 2-3 minutes of it, and I actually get to watch most of my game. So I'm happy about that.
All right, so let's get into the episode, man. Before we start with football and talk about football, as we have been the past couple episodes, basketball season is coming up. We'll give you guys some more content, give you guys some predictions on what we think is going to happen, predict our MVPs, predict some of our award winners. We're going to get that out of the way prior to basketball season and training camp starting. But we did have some basketball news. So let's get on the countdown. Ime Udoka was suspended by the Boston Celtics for a year. So let's just break down the events that happened. So on Wednesday night, late Wednesday night, out of nowhere, we got a Woj bomb that reported that Udoka will be facing possible disciplinary action, which included a significant suspension for unspecified violation of organizational guidelines. So everyone's trying to figure out what happened. And later, Shams of The Athletic broke the news. He was like, "Yo, he had an improper intimate concessional relationship with a female member of their staff." So then that had Twitter in a frenzy. They're like, "How can you cheat on Nia Long? What is going on? He fumbled the NBA Finals, fumbled Nia Long." I'm like, first of all, y'all know what Nia Long is. If Beyonce got cheated on, anybody can get cheated on. Like, so y'all had to stop there. But then we're trying to figure out. Then it got real nasty. People were going through the Boston Celtics organization, I want to say roster, but staff listing. Then they accused one woman of being one of the people. I think she's the VP of player development. And I looked it up. I was like, oh, that's her. I'm like, oh, she got cute. But she a hooper, too. She was a 5th overall draft pick in the WNBA, had a nice little WNBA career. I'm like, oh, okay. And then it's like, no, that's not her. And now people are just throwing names off, trying to figure out what happened. And then we heard that he might be getting suspended for a year. So everyone's like, oh, he's getting suspended for a year for having a side chick. Like, what's going on? Like, people were mad. Why did this come out? Why did this get leaked? And then now it's slowly looking like the relationship wasn't consensual. There's some inappropriate behavior that was done on the part of Ime Udoka. What is your whole stance on this situation, Chubbs?
Especially if it wasn't consensual, then it warrants, repercussions. At 1. 2, I think everybody understands that. I don't know what their contract situation is with relationships like within the company or business, whatever, because some companies in this world they don't want that. You're not allowed to date when you're your coworker or have any type of thing with your coworker because it can result in possible conflict at the workplace. So, was it just one person? Because at first I heard it was 2.
Of said 1 or 2.
I heard there was 2.
Yeah, so we don't have the full details yet because they're obviously not releasing the full details.
So it's tricky because you get a guy gets in trouble. The really sticky part is the non-consensual part now. Because dude's getting in trouble for having sex, basically.
Yeah, but so people were
But
complaining, like,
the
I guess,
non-consensual part is the very, very bad part about it.
yeah, that's what it looks like it's leaning more towards because you had Matt Barnes who was going crazy, like shitting on the Boston Celtics franchise, and then later issued an apology after he said he got the full details of what's going on. So now it's looking like if it's non-consensual, then obviously I don't understand the suspension. Why not just fire him? That's my thing. Why even? I think this is poor on the Boston Celtics part. Obviously, Ime Udoka Suspended, non-consensual. He's doing some crazy stuff. Fire him. He should never get another job in NBA. Well, I won't say never get another job in NBA. He's probably never going to get another job in NBA regardless. Because I don't know how you can bring him back next year unless they completely suck. And then they're like, all right, we got to bring him back because his coach brought us to the finals, right? But in my opinion, like the Boston Celtics did an entire poor job with this. It was non-consensual. If you didn't finish your reporting, why did you leak that to Woj? Why did you make this come out? You didn't have to make it come out. You could have got all the facts, figured out what happened, and then
that makes me feel like he slept with the wrong person. If somebody's putting it out there, basically trying to get him fired.
Yeah.
He slept with the wrong person, which makes me think hopefully the GM or owner don't have like a daughter or something. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah, and it's crazy, man. It's just, I'm like, yeah, so if it's consensual, why you're suspending him, why you're announcing him, why you're dragging his name through the dirt. If it's non-consensual, I get why you did that. But fire him and then say, these are the reasons why we fired him. There's people that got fired all the time in the background for having these consensual relationships.
Well, like not trying to put the correlation to Deshaun, but why, if that was the case and all these non-consensual things that hasn't really been proven yet, right? But he got suspended, correct? Mm-hmm. At that point, why not just fire Deshaun right there? Release him, Texans. You know what I mean?
Well, that's the difference between a player.
But you know what I'm saying, though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, similar between a player and a coach, and also was known within the organization.
Yeah, that's true.
So that's a big thing. It's within the organization, so they're like, all right. So that's why I just feel like the Boston Celtics handled this poorly. And prayers for all the women that are involved, all the women that got their name dragged through the mud in the Boston Celtic organization, because Twitter's a nasty place, man. The way they go through things and try to search for things and try to play detective, man. Sometimes it's helpful, but sometimes it's just disgusting. And in this point, it was disgusting. So, yeah, man, praise for everybody that was involved in the situation. I don't know, man. This is a crazy situation. It's the first time I've actually seen something like this in my lifetime, where it got out. But I just think the Boston Celtics did a poor job for being such a prominent franchise and having this thing. They should have had an action plan, had things handled, and got things done. And just looks like a rookie mistake by a GM, VP operations, and Brad Stevens, who's just there. So I'm wondering now, who is going to coach this team? Is Brad Stevens going to go down from his VP position?
I would.
GM, VP, and coach?
I would.
Okay.
At least for a year.
For a year. Do you think Ime comes back after a year?
I have to get the full context of what happened and who it was, because if it was not consensual, then he offended somebody, and that results in criminal. What's it called? Investigation.
Sexual harassment.
Yeah.
Things like that. Sexual misconduct. So, yeah. I mean, I regardless of what happens, I think you can't bring him back after a year. He's gone. And I really find a hard time for him finding another head coaching job. It's crazy to think, man. I don't know if it was non-consensual and he was out here wilding out, then that's just crazy, man. I don't know if he got power drunk because he had a great year, his first year as a rookie coach, but he has to do better, and the Boston Celtics have to do better, in my opinion. So, all parties involved, man. The males parties involved, they have to do better, and for the women, again, like I said, I hope that no one more harm in this, and then they're able to get past this and recover properly. But it was just a super unfortunate situation. Now that he's gone, how do you have the Boston Celtics looking?
I mean, they should still be competitive.
I think a lot of people have had them as a favorite coming out of the East.
They're still going to make the playoffs. They're still going to be a top 4 seed in the East. I don't see them not being a top 4 seed next year. I get you're not having your head coach, but like you're probably getting someone that still has the same system that within that staff. You got the same roster, damn near. So like you should be fine.
I had them finishing as a top 2 seed. I think now I dropped them to 5th or 6th seed. I think what he was able to do and coach them up defensively, you don't have that historic turnaround like they did last year without a coach like that. So I think that's.
But you're saying historic turnaround. I mean, the Celtics have always been good, though.
Yeah, but if you remember last year, they were like the 10th seed, and they found a way to be the 2nd seed in them.
Yeah, but I don't know.
Yeah, they were at all like in January, before January. Like prior to All-Star break, they were like 10th or 11th seed.
They got Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown still, so they'll be all right.
Yeah, but that's true.
They'll be all right.
We'll see how they go. They got Malcolm Brogdon too, but yeah, crazy situation,
Smart,
man.
And Robert Williams and Big Al Horford.
Well, Al Horford's getting a year older, and
who cares? If he just shoots threes and makes his shots, that team's he did his job.
Yeah, they'll still be a top, title contending team.
They still got Grant, what's it called, coming off the bench. Williams.
It's just gonna be a lot of drama surrounding them.
Got a lot of weapons, man.
Yeah. So, all right, man. That is all we had for the Ime Udoka situation, man. As more details come out, we'll talk about it more and more. But now it's time to get to Thursday night football game. Pittsburgh Steelers lose to the Cleveland Browns by a score of 17-29. Pittsburgh looked good offensively in the first half, but in the second half, they just couldn't get it done. I'll let you take it away from here, Chubbs. What are your thoughts on the game and the Steelers and the Browns? What are your thoughts there, since you're a Ravens fan and this is your division?
Y'all suck. That's my real big take. Y'all are not that good. Your offensive line is, in my eyes, terrible. But I'll be nice. They're
Myles Garrett had no sacks.
They're overrated. Even if they were highly talked about, but they're not very good. Mitch Trubisky is probably the 5th best quarterback in the AFC North. One bright spot though, your receivers. I like your receivers. They get open. They just don't get the ball where it needs to be all the time. But they do get open. And I'm sorry. I know I'm talking strictly on Steelers right now. But I know that TJ Watt was out, and he is a big, big part of that defense. But you got one of the highest paid defenses in the league, right? The highest.
The highest paid defense.
I know it's a very important one, but one guy missing should not be that big of a drop off. It shouldn't make that big of a difference. I know you're probably missing a couple of sacks here and there, some probably big third down stops, but that doesn't excuse your run defense, because your run defense was atrocious. Nick Chubb had a day. Jacoby Brissett was getting passes off, making big plays. Amari Cooper was looking good. Your DBs were looking suspect. Honestly, the only DB I like on your team that I respect is Minka. Don't respect any other one on that team. I don't know. I think you're gonna see a lot of this, Wayne. I mean, I'm sorry to talk bad about your Steelers, but I'm not really sorry at the same time. But you're gonna see a lot of that all year. You're gonna be in dogfights. You guys are gonna be a hard time to score. It's gonna be like that, in my opinion. Because if that offensive line isn't making that push, isn't protecting the whole, consistently, that run game's not going to be there for Najee. So then that is the biggest, brightest part of your offense is Najee. And I think you can agree with that. If he's not going, you're going to have a long day for that offense. But I don't know. I already told you, everybody, I already told Wayne, I told people prior, our friends, I don't think this team's making the playoffs. I think they're going to be below 500 for the first time in Mike Tomlin's career. It's just this is a rebuild year for them. It's a rebuild year. We knew this in August when they drafted a quarterback first for their first pick that should have went in the 3rd round for them. So I don't know. But one bright part is the AFC North isn't that impressive right now. I mean, I'll even say that for the Ravens. The Ravens, I think, out of all the teams, are the brightest out of them. I mean, offensively speaking, I can't speak defensively, but AFC North is kind of still open. So I will give that little tidbit. I'll give that little tidbit, a little glimmer of hope for you Steeler fans. But it's very dim. It's very dim right now. But I'm done. You go.
Okay. Steeler Nation, listen to me. Steeler Nation, do not panic. Do not be afraid. Do not be worried.
Okay, Eminem.
People say we should be 0-3. But the fact of the matter is we won against the Bengals. The Bengals should have never been in that game. So we should have easily won that game. That's a fact. People are like, oh, you guys should have lost. No, we had 7 sacks and 5 takeaways. Should have easily won the game. That's one. 2, week 2, we lost because of a muff punt. That's the reason why we lost the game. We muffed a punt at our 15-yard line and they got a touchdown. That's what happened. We were getting the momentum in the game. We scored a touchdown, then we got another stop, and that's what happened. This week, Chubbs is right. We couldn't stop the run. Couldn't stop the run. We had a hell of a game plan. Our receivers got open in the first half, but in the second half, we couldn't get open. Offensive line held Myles Garrett, the one that everyone compares to T.J. Watt and Aaron Donald, to 0 sacks. He had 0 impact on that game. So that's a bright spot for this offensive line. This offense scored 2 touchdowns in the 2 games prior. They scored 2 touchdowns in this game. T.J. Watt missing is a big deal. Chubbs is trying to downplay it. Yes, we have the most expensive defense in football. But majority of that money comes from T.J. Watt, Cam Hayward, and Minka Fitzpatrick, who are respectively all pros. Respectively. All pro talents. And one talent in T.J. Watt, who is, you may say, is generational. You may say that, right? What this offense is missing, Mitch is not playing bad. Matt Canada play calling is playing bad. Offensive line not being able to run the ball is playing bad. That is what is wrong. But we still ran the ball quite effectively last game, 4.7 yards per carry. I can deal with that. They had more push than they had in the first 2 games versus a better defensive line than the defensive lines we played in the first 2 games. So this team is slowly making improvements and slowly making adjustments. The next adjustment we need to make is throwing the ball in the middle of the field. We can't throw the ball on the outside on the short routes all the time. We need to get some crosser routes because what happened in the second half was they played cover 2 man, so they had 2 safeties over top and everybody manned up. So you couldn't throw those long bombs that we were doing in the first half because they knew they were getting beat and they didn't want to get beat. So now that's when we have to run some deep crossers, start to run some digs. Matt Canada has to step up and make better play calls. The internet was going in a frenzy over the pass to George Pickens because they said Chase Claypool was open. That's who we should have thrown into. Listen to me, you idiots that don't know ball. Wayne is here to teach you guys ball. If a quarterback is rolling to his right, if his name is not Aaron Rodgers, Patrick Mahomes, or Tom Brady, I do not want him crossing his body and throwing a ball to the middle of the field. I do not want him doing it. If he's not Justin Herbert, not Aaron Rodgers, not Patrick Mahomes, I do not want my quarterback doing that. He's not the elite of the elite. We can't have him doing that. So to pick out that play and all the plays for Mitch, oh, he missed that. He still threw a bomb, threw a great catch. Deontay Johnson dropped 2 bombs as well. He has to do a better job with that. He has to do a better job when he catches the freaking ball and jump cutting backwards to try and make a play and losing yardage. He did that one time and he made it from a 3rd and 3 to a 3rd and 5. He tried to jump back and make a play, didn't have nowhere to go and jumped out of bounds. This offense has to help Mitch as much as Mitch has to help this offense. Kenny Pickett is not going to solve any problems if Matt Canada is not calling the right play calls. The only thing I can say Mitch is doing wrong is he's playing too timid. You saw this game, he played a little bit looser and was able to get some things done in the first half. But then he went back to his timid ways in the second half. He is not confident. And this, remember, Chubbs, what did I say on draft night? Remember what I said about Mitch. I said, if they draft a quarterback about Mitch, Mitch is not going to play good because they know.
I remember what you said. before that too.
No. All right.
No. Say it. If the Steelers
God.
drafted a quarterback round 1, what was Steelers' season going to be? What did you say?
That wasn't going to be. I didn't say it was. I didn't think
You
it
were.
was
You said
good.
we are not making playoffs. It was going to be a long season.
I said that. And why did I say that, Chubbs? I said what? I said if you pick Mitch to be your current quarterback, you should have stick with Mitch as being your starting quarterback. That way you have the confidence in him. He knows if you draft a quarterback in the first round, you don't have confidence in him.
And he don't got confidence in himself right now. I honestly don't like Mitch throw. Mitch does not like throw. I mean, I get you want him to throw over the middle more. I don't think he likes doing that because I don't think his thing is I don't want to throw a pick.
My point exactly. He's playing not to make mistakes instead of playing to win the game. He's playing not to make mistakes instead of playing to win the game because he's like, there's a rookie quarterback behind me that in our first home game,
the whole city of Pittsburgh, the whole city of Pittsburgh is screaming, Kenny.
Yeah. Like that, to me, that's just a piss poor job by our fans. Like, Mike Tomlin's not going to do that.
Big Ben was on, I forgot what radio show he was on this week, but he talked about it. He was on somebody's radio show, podcast, and was like, he basically said Mitch was doomed as soon as Steelers drafted Kenny as their quarterback. He was the Pittsburgh guy already. Mm-hmm. So he was
all off season. That's the talk. Oh yeah, we got Mitch. Before they made all that posts, Mitch Trubisky is the guy in Pittsburgh. If they would have just said, all right, I just got to beat Mason Rudolph off. Oh, I beat him off. I know I don't have to worry about anything at all. But now you have to worry about this rookie guy coming in and a quarterback that already was the number 2 pick in the draft, didn't get re-signed by his team, had to go be a backup. His confidence is not at the right level. He was the number 2 pick in his draft.
I thought he was a number 2 quarterback selected in front of Patty.
He got picked before Deshaun and Patrick Mahomes. He was Myles Garrett was the first pick. They said on Thursday, Myles Garrett was the first pick, and Mitch was the second pick in that draft. Uh-huh. So once they did that, they sued that they didn't have confidence in him, and they ruined him. And that's all that the Pittsburgh Steelers put themselves in this position to have a non-confident quarterback in. Ryan Clark even said this on ESPN, and Stephen A was like, he doesn't look like he have confidence. And the reason is because you got that other guy behind you that you have to worry about. So I know a lot of people are trolling me on Twitter, going back and forth. You said Mitch was going to be the best quarterback in the AFC North. I said all of this prior to the Kenny Pickett draft. Once the Kenny Pickett draft happened, I said anything I said about Mitch before, it's out of the window because his confidence is shot. It is gone. If they would have drafted Kenny in the 3rd round, he would have felt a lot better. But you had the Pittsburgh guy who's at the University of Pittsburgh, was the third in Heisman voting as their first draft pick. Like, what does that say?
And he played 6 years, so he had his Revis year at Pittsburgh. Yeah. So, he was there for 6 years. So.
The city already loves him, and now they even love him more because he's a Steeler. It's like when Le'Veon Bell and James Conner got there.
When he got drafted, his jersey became one of the highest selling jerseys.
Yeah,
in the NFL. Yeah.
So yeah. Again, but don't panic, Steeler Nation. Kenny is not the solution. I just need Mitch to get more confident. If we're gonna start Kenny, it has to be after the bye week. Just wait until the bye week, after the bye week.
I agree.
That way he could get more reps with the ones during the bye week. Do that. I don't think it's gonna come to that. I think Mitch is gonna stay there for the season. I think our next game, Mitch is gonna have a great game versus the Jets.
Well, if you guys I'm not big on y'all because you guys been having dog fights. I know some certain things.
That's Pittsburgh Steelers football.
Didn't go your way.
I saw us win 8 games with.
I really believe the Jets are going to give y'all problems this week.
I think every team is going to give us problems.
I think Joe Flacco is going to have a big game.
No, that's not happening.
I'm just saying, don't be surprised if he comes out and throws.
I think Joe Flacco throws 2 picks, one of them being to me.
We'll see. I think Garrett Wilson balls. He's been sprouting.
He might ball, yeah. But I was more disappointed in our defense leaving David and Njoku go off. That's the shit that.
Yeah, he balled. I need to start him in fantasy and not Kyle Pitts.
more than anything else. Stop disrespecting Kyle Pitts, bro.
He got me 2.9 and 1.9 the past 2 weeks. So until he gets me a consistent 10, I do not want to hear no top 5 BS.
What you talking about? He's literally a top 5 tight end.
He might be a top 5, but he's not top 5 in fantasy for damn sure.
All right, man. Let's get into it. Let's now that we're out of there, let's go ahead and talk about our Week 2 predictions. So we're gonna go through each game. I think DL sent us his list. I don't know if he put them in the pick'em. Did he put them in the pick'em?
No, he said he did.
Let me see if he put them in the pick'em. Let me see. No, he did not pick any picks.
So him snapping back at me about the comment I made saying he already had it in there. He didn't. So that's interesting. That's very interesting, man.
All right. For the first game, we are going to discuss, we're talking the Bears versus the Houston Texans. Texans are currently 0-1-1, and the Chicago Bears are 1-1. Who are you picking to win this game, Chubbs?
I got the Houston Texans. I know that they're the app we use the ESPN app. If everybody wants to know, they got the Bears as 82% favorites over 18% with Houston. I really like Houston, low key, and what they got going on. I know they're not the sexiest team like on paper, but I don't trust the Bears one bit. So it's one of those games where it's hard.
It's a pick'em. It's a
pick'em game. So I'm leaning towards more Texans. Davis Mills Mafia. Damian Pierce at the running back. I like a little bit what they got going on defensively, even though they don't got a lot of known people. But again, I don't like the Bears. Their offensive line, I don't like it. I don't think they're going to do much this year. I think this is going to be Texans' first win this year, and Lovey's first win as the Houston Texans head coach.
So DL picked the Bears to win, and I originally picked the Bears, and this one has been a toss-up for me. I mean, this was probably the hardest game for me to actually pick this week. The hardest game for me to pick. Think about it. The Bears versus the Texans was the hardest game for me to pick. And in the app, I picked the Bears, but I'm switching it right now. I'm going with you with the Texans as well. The Texans have been in dogfights with the Colts, who I think we all realize are not good right now, and then also the Broncos, who are not as good. But dogfights with those two teams. The Bears played in a terrible weather game, and they got, I think, in my opinion, I think we all agree, lucky with the win over the 49ers.
And they beat Trey Lance, who was his first official real start. I mean, actually not.
In a monsoon.
In a monsoon, yeah, and pouring down rain. So,
yeah. And then they lost to Aaron Rodgers. But that's Aaron Rodgers, who he told them, I think,
he owns them.
He owns them. So I got the Texans because I just think Lovie Smith, I love what he's doing. He's always going to make sure he's competitive, and I think this is the week where they actually get it done. So we got DL with the Bears, and then me and you with the Texans. Next game is the Raiders versus the Titans.
I got the Raiders. I personally think so. There's a few teams. I mean, I'm gonna call them frauds because I'm gonna overrated is just, I guess, too easy of a term. There's a few teams I think are frauds this year. One is the Bengals, and two is now the Titans. I don't know what the hell they got going on, but they are not very impressive. They are lucky they play in the AFC South, where every team in the AFC South looks like they aren't very good. I think the Jacksonville Jaguars or Texans could pull out that division.
I think the Jaguars are going to win that division.
Because the Colts are nasty, and the Titans. Derrick Henry is spent. He's spent.
I knew that was going to happen with the injury. I knew
this might be this. If
Jonathan Taylor doesn't look good either.
If this year is not his last year, I'm calling next year his last, I guess, numbers year. Because you give him 330 plus carries consistently over the years, this is what you're getting a result. 10 carries for 29 yards and a touchdown. That's not Derrick Henry. That's not Derrick Henry. You got Dontrell Hilliard behind him being more productive. And who the hell is Dontrell Hilliard? Really? Only a few people really know him. So that team's really not impressing me. Their defense isn't impressing me. Their biggest bright spot on defense is out the whole year from after week 1. That's Harold Landry. He's not playing. I mean, they still got Bud, but it's just that team is just a dud, in my opinion. And I know I'm not even talking. I know I'm not talking about the Raiders, but I think the Raiders are going to beat them easily.
Yeah, I think it's going to be an easy game too. Yeah, Harold Landry getting hurt, but Jeffrey Simmons is still a dog. So if he has a great game, they could still find a way to win this game.
I just don't see that Titans secondary.
Yeah, it's really Kevin Byard can only do so much,
and he plays at safety. He's not guarding.
Yeah,
Devontae.
Yeah, so I just think the Raiders. I think they're going to come out pissed off about what happened last week by blowing that lead versus the Cardinals. So this is a clean sweep. DL has the Raiders too. So we'll go to the next game. We have the Colts and Chiefs. I think you can go first, Chubbs.
I'm not even going to spend a lot of time on this. I'm going Chiefs. I think the Colts are dog shit. They're trash.
Yeah, Chiefs clean sweep. Chiefs win by 21.
Hey, Matt Ryan. It's been a great career, buddy.
Yeah, it's been a great career. Is he a Hall of Famer? Because everybody likes to throw people in Hall of Fame.
No, I don't think so.
Me too. Next game is probably the game of the week. Bills versus the Dolphins. Who are you picking in this game?
So it's tough. I picked the Bills. And the reasoning I picked the Bills. I know Miami is super hot right now, but so are the Bills. I know the Bills are missing some key parts on defense.
Key parts.
They still got Von Miller, who's playing unreal, and he's 30. He's old. He's getting up there. He's playing like he's still a year out rookie. You know what I mean? He's playing unreal. They still got Gregory Rousseau coming from the other edge. Him and Von Miller have been making some noise. Now, saying that, the reason why I really am picking the Bills over the Dolphins is I saw clips and highlights from last week of Ravens receivers getting open. You have seen what Josh Allen has been doing with this receiving core in Buffalo.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's about to have another day with Stephon Diggs. I think Gabe Davis is playing. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think he's playing this week. The Bills to me are in the AFC is the team to beat this year, in my eyes. So
all right,
I'm going with them.
Right now they do look like the best team, but I'm going with the Dolphins. I am going with the Dolphins. I think the Dolphins' defense is much better than the Titans and then the Rams, collectively as a group. And then more importantly, without Tre'Davious White, without Micah Hyde, you cannot play zone versus Tyreek Hill. So they're and Jalen Waddle.
Well,
can't double either one of them. I think Gesicki found his spot last week, and he's going to ball out versus them. And the Dolphins are going to be able to run the ball against them. So I have it as a high-scoring game, but I have the Dolphins winning 35-28.
So I know Dolphins did pick up big win against the Ravens, but this game, I'm Dolphins fans, don't get mad I picked the Bills. Prove me wrong. This game is the week that you prove to everybody you guys are for real this year.
And that's why I'm picking the Dolphins, because I think this is the game. This is the team that Tua has not been able to beat since he got in the league. Team that's owned him. And I think this is the time where he gets over that hump and excels himself to become a top 10 quarterback. He has to beat this team.
That's what I'm saying. I just want to say, he did beat the Ravens, who are arguably the AFC North favorites. But this is the game this year that you guys prove that, all right, this is our year to go and actually make some noise. If you can beat the Bills, you guys wait till next week, Monday on ESPN. You're going to be on Stephen A's top 5 list for
They're going to be the number one team. They're going to be the number one team.
People are going to talk about y'all as contenders. I'm telling you, if you pull this out, that's what will happen.
Dolphins fans, if this is the game, that
And
I
then
think
Tua will break you guys' heart halfway through the year.
I'm going with
I'm joking.
I'm going with the home team. DL picked the Bills as well, but I had to go with the home team. Rep my city one time and pick the Dolphins. So, hey man, if the Dolphins walling out, well, I'm like, yo, let's go Dolphins. You know, we're 5 minutes away from the stadium.
Yeah,
But
started wearing some teals. It's gonna be funny as shit.
nah, I'm not doing that. You know, I rock with the Steelers and the Chiefs mainly only. So, yeah, only 14% of people think the Dolphins can win this game and pick them. It's kind of crazy. The next game is the Lions versus the Vikings.
You can go first, man.
I got the Vikings, man. I think Justin Jefferson is going to play out of his freaking mind because of how upset he is about what Darius Slay and the Philadelphia Eagles did to him on Monday Night Football. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game, though, because the Lions are very impressive. But I do think Jettis goes for 3 touchdowns this week.
I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is about them Lions, but I got the Lions.
I got a feeling, too.
I got the Lions this weekend. I got the Lions. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. It's either going to be the Vikings are going to win or I ain't going to lie.
Kirk Cousins is going to find a way to fuck it up.
Jared Goff making me a believer again. And
again, you never believe. Stop that. I try to tell you.
He went to the Super Bowl. He went to the Super Bowl. I believe that one year, but he's making Amon St. Brown look really good. I like DeAndre Swift. I like the rotation they got that back. They got a good offensive line. I think they got what it takes to win this game, but I also think it will be a dogfight to win this game. You got to really play your best game because the Vikings aren't no slouches.
I think it's going to be a dogfight.
But another main reason. The quarterback for the Vikings is Kirk Cousins, and I do not like Kirk Cousins. He is terrible.
But also the quarterback for the Lions is Jared Goff.
I'd rather have Jared Goff than Kirk Cousins. I really believe that.
That's crazy. That is a crazy
That's
take.
fine. That's fine.
You think Jared Goff is better than Kirk Cousins?
You know why I respect Jared Goff? Because no matter the stake of the game, no matter prime time or not, he is slinging that stuff, and he is going to get them yards. Kirk Cousins folds in prime time. We know this. It's a fact.
Well, good thing it's a 12 o'clock game, not prime time. So I'm going with the Vikings. Smoot picked the Vikings as well. Next game, we have the Baltimore Ravens versus the New England Patriots. This is Chubbs and Smoot food game. So,
I'm going with the Ravens. Ain't no shock there. I know that the defense really sold the last week. But the Patriots don't have the receiving core like the Dolphins. I think you're going to see a big bounce back game for that defense. They're going to show up. I think Lamar's going to have another great day. I really think this is, like I said, MVP year. He's already in MVP form, in my opinion. He's had really good 2 weeks. J.K. Dobbins is coming back. That'd be interesting to see how many carries he gets. I'm just letting everybody know, don't expect to see a bunch. He's probably going to be on a pitch count the first game. Hopefully him being in there picks up this offensive running game a little bit. I would like to see that going, but the Pats defense is pretty solid. So I don't know. I got the Ravens. I think they're going to win by 2+ touchdowns at least this weekend. I don't see how they don't. Because I don't really believe in Mac Jones. And I don't think that running game is going to really do anything against the defensive front because usually you got to pass on the Ravens if you want to beat them. I mean, that's how it's been.
Yeah, DL picked the Pats.
I'm not surprised. But
I'm picking the Ravens. I don't think it's going to be close. I think Lamar has a total of 5 touchdowns, and the defense plays out of its mind because they're pissed off, and also because the receiving core for the other team stinks. Even though they killed Pittsburgh.
We say this, but watch Jacoby Myers or Devontae have a day.
Jacoby is going to have a day because he had the day versus us. So I know he's definitely going to have it. He found a way to have a day. He's not going to score, but he's going to have a day.
But that's the thing. He don't score touchdowns. He just gets yards.
Yep. Next game, we have the Jets versus the Bengals.
I am going with the New York Jets. I don't know what it is about the Jets. I think they are a highly underrated football team. I think they're a lot better than people give them credit for. I like their defense. And I'm going to say it. I like Joe Flacco being their starting quarterback. I think they get stuff done with him being the quarterback.
Better than Zach Wilson, who you have high
Well,
praise
well,
for?
well, well, well. So I do have high praise on Zach, but like, I don't know. Joe just plays different than Zach. Zach takes a lot more like risks and like shots. Flacco's
Joe
going to
threw
try
for
to.
400 yards last week.
Yeah, but he threw it efficiently. If you really look at his completions to attempts.
Yeah, yeah.
So like that's why I like what they're doing with him being the backup with those receivers. Those receivers really play well with Joe Flacco. If you don't notice, like he gets Elijah Moore involved. Elijah Moore got involved a little bit last year with Zach Wilson, but was merely Mike White and Flacco occasionally. Corey Davis is productive with Joe Flacco.
I picked him up in fantasy because of
Garrett
that.
Wilson has been balling with Joe Flacco. Like, I don't know. I like what they're doing. I like what they're doing these past couple weeks, even though they're 1-1. I like what they have because going against the Bengals secondary, I think the Bengals are the biggest frauds in the whole NFL. And that D line, Carl Lawson, it's a revenge game. This is his first year going against his old team. He gonna get back there and hit Joe Burrow because that offensive line sure as hell not blocking for him. So I like the Jets.
This is a clean sweep. We all picked the Jets. We all picked the Jets. I think Robert Saleh is going to find a way to get pressure on Joe Flacco. Another 5+ sack day.
Robert Saleh is the Jets coach. So
Jets.
You mean pressure on Joe Burrow?
Joe Burrow, yeah, Joe Burrow.
I was like, Joe Flacco. Joe Flacco would get pressure.
Yeah, Joe Burrow. Yeah, Joe Burrow. So he's gonna find a way to get pressure on Joe Burrow, and I think the receiving core. I think Garrett Wilson will have another big day, and also Brees Hall scored a touchdown last week. I think he'll score another one as well. But yeah, I have the Jets. I like the Jets. I like what they're doing, and like Robert Saleh said, keeping them receipts. So I'm gonna watch them keep those receipts, man. The next game we have the Eagles versus Commanders.
You want to go first?
Yeah, this is a revenge game for Carson Wentz, and he's winning this game.
You think so?
He's winning this game. I guarantee he's winning this game by throwing 4 touchdowns. He would throw 4 touchdowns, and they would win this game 31-24.
Carson is throwing at least 2 interceptions this weekend, maybe 3.
4 touchdowns.
I got the Eagles. I got the Eagles winning. They are coming off that white hot game they just fucking had to pass. What was it? Sunday night, Monday night.
Mm-hmm.
I like what the Eagles got. I don't know. The defense is going to shut down Carson. You know, I still would like to see some touchdowns out of the running backs of the Eagles and not Jalen Hurts all the time. But nonetheless, Eagles find a way to win. They're going to win this game. I think they're going to win by 2 touchdowns to this game. I don't think it's going to be a dog fight like you're making it out to be, or a blowout revenge game like you're making it out. Because if a quarterback throws 4 touchdowns, then that defense was trash that day.
I said 20. I said 31-24.
Well, it's shootout technically in that. I got the Eagles.
All right.
I don't trust Carson.
Smoog also had the Eagles. So
even though Carson
next game
did ball last week, but
yeah, this at the end of the game, he balled the first week too. He has like 8 touchdowns on the season.
Kind of.
Next game we have the Saints versus the Panthers. Panthers are 0-2. I have the Saints, and
I got the Saints too. I was high on the Big Show for when he first got there, but that team, they're not making any noise. And it's week 3, and Christian McCaffrey's already having lingering issues with injuries.
Yeah, he already injured.
Already.
DL picked the Saints as well. So yeah, everybody was scared to draft Christian McCaffrey in fantasy this year because like if you get hurt, like
he's like apparently he was like the reason why he sat out was he was like really stiff in his legs already. Like he was already feeling the effects of playing in 2 games. Like
it's crazy. Boy can't stay healthy, man. Next thing we have the Jaguars and Chargers.
I got the Chargers. I have not much to say. I just think they have too much for the Jags to stop. I do like what the Jags have been doing. past couple weeks. Like you've seen a little bit of improvement, but like I said, that AFC South is wide open. So I don't think this is a game they win, but yeah. But
if they weren't going against Joey Bosa and Khalil Mack, I would pick the Jaguars. But because it's Joey Bosa and Khalil Mack on the other side that Trevor Lawrence has to go against, I have to pick the Jaguars.
I will say, Jaguars defense does show up when they need to.
I really want to pick the Jaguars, but I just don't think the offense will be able to score.
Is not playing 100%.
Yeah.
So this could be a game.
I really want to pick. I think it is going to be a game. I really want to pick the Jaguars
because I think Keenan Allen is still beat up too.
Yeah,
this is a game.
Something for the life of me tells me that it won't happen. But I really think the Jaguars could pull this upset. Fuck it. I'm picking the Jaguars to win this game. I convinced myself. I'm on my Trevor Lawrence agenda. I think Urban Meyer was holding back a generational quarterback, and we're going to see him lead his team to the playoffs.
I still think he's overrated.
And that's my point exactly. And this is the game that's going to let you eat those motherfucking words. That game right there.
Please.
Going to let you eat those words and prove. He is the best quarterback, and for some reason,
I think he's good.
Zach Wilson was better than him.
I think he's good. I just don't think he's the next generational type guy. I think that's a little bit overrating him, in my opinion. But I think he's a good quarterback.
He's going to show you why in this win, and the Jaguars will go 2-1, and they will continue to lead the AFC South and win that division this year. DL picked the Chargers as well. I'm going with the next game. We have Rams versus Cardinals.
Rams. I'm sorry. I don't believe in the Cardinals one bit, and that's mainly due to Kyler Murray. I think he is.
You didn't see what Kyler did last game,
bro. But okay, I hate when people are saying that. But like, look what he did up until that point. Like he was playing terrible,
and then he turned it up.
I need you to. All right, you're getting paid all that money. I need you to be consistently like that from start at 15 minutes to clock here at 0-0.
I rather you finish a game hot than start the game hot and not.
You're not hearing what I'm saying. You're getting. You're getting paid all that money, Wayne.
Okay, all right. He could have did what Lamar did and started the game hot and then.
Bro, he was playing garbage.
And then that's what Lamar did in the fourth. He didn't do it in this where he won.
But he was playing against the Raiders defense. Like he should be dicing them.
They got a good defensive line.
And also, I'm so glad to see Hollywood is in midseason form already. Dropping passes. He is fucking stinks, big season form, man.
He's terrible. He sucks.
But no, I got who are they playing? If I could just blank.
Right, you picked the Rams.
The Rams, I got the Rams. I don't know. I think the Rams had a rough week one. I still don't believe completely in that defense. I know
that had a rough week too.
I think offense is going to carry them this year. It's sad to say.
Yeah, I think DL picked the Cardinals. I don't know why, but I guess he believes in Kyler Murray.
He picked the Cardinals because he has Cooper Kupp hate. That's why I picked the Cardinals.
Yeah, I'm picking the Rams. They're going to win, but this was a better team. I would have picked the other team.
Cooper Kupp about the ball this weekend.
Matt Stafford stinks. He throws 2 interceptions a game. He's going to definitely throw another interception this game as well. It's going to be a lot closer game than you actually think. I think it's going to be a really close game that comes down to that. So, next game, we have the Falcons versus Seahawks.
Seahawks. And I just think they're going to win the game. I haven't been impressed with Falcons. The only thing I've been impressed, I would say, is the involvement they've gotten already from Drake London. But other than that, like, you're not really making any noise, Falcons.
Well, Smooth picked the Seahawks too. I'm going with the Falcons. They've been in 2 tight, close games that have come down to the wire both times.
Against who?
I think versus the Rams and versus the Saints.
All right, that's 2 tough teams, I guess. Yeah.
So they play a much lighter opponent this week. I think they have a big game, and then Tubbs, you're going to eat your words about Kyle Pitts this week. He's going to go for over 100 yards.
Please, I want to have him have a big so my fantasy week is easy. That's what I need. I got ballers everywhere else except for tight end right now.
Next game, we have the Packers versus the Buccaneers.
Ooh, I don't even remember who I picked on that, but I think I went Bucks. I think I went Bucks, but let me double check. I picked the. Damn, this thing's taking forever. I picked the Buccaneers. Yeah, I did pick the Buccaneers, and mainly, that's because I know Mike Evans is out. But I don't trust. I don't trust Green Bay this year. I think they're gonna be good. I think they're gonna make playoffs, but I don't think they're gonna be like the 13 and 14 wins team. I think they're gonna be the 10-win, 9-win team, and either making the wild card or just barely winning the division against the Vikings. And that's so weird to say about an Aaron Rodgers team. You know what I mean? So I don't know. They don't really impress me this year. So I'm going to lean with Tom Brady's Buccaneers over Aaron Rodgers. I know that's not the best example or best reasoning I just gave out, but I don't know. I like the Bucs in this.
Yeah, you're wrong. I'm very wrong. The Packers will win this game. It's going to be the battle of two elite defenses, but I think the Packers defense is a little bit better and more stout to stop the run, especially with no Mike Evans. It's going to be hard for Tom Brady. I have the Packers winning. I think Aaron Jones has another big game. I do have the Vikings winning 11 to 12 games. You said 8 to 9, which is very disrespectful.
So I said Packers will be 10 to 9 and be in a fight for the
you said 9-8
title with the.
You said 9-8, so you correction yourself.
I said 10 first, so wait till you go back and listen because I said 10 first.
Either way, they're winning more than 10 games this season. I promise you. That defense is the Packers. Their defense is very elite. They have a very elite defense.
You understand how many teams they got to beat to
They have to win. They have to win 10 more games.
They got to win their division, which I think their division's hard.
They're going to win 10 more games.
Okay.
The Lions and they're going to sweep the Lions.
You think so? I don't think they're going to sweep the Lions this year.
That's 4 games right there. They're going to split the Vikings.
They're going to sweep the Bears for sure.
So sweep the Bears, sweep the Lions. That's 4 games. 1 win versus the Vikings. That's 5 games. Right? And all they have to do is win 6 more. They're going to win 6 more.
We'll see about that.
And this is one of the 6 where they're going to win. 32% of people think so. 68% of people think the Bucs will win. DL surprisingly went against Tom Brady and picked Aaron Rodgers and the Packers as well.
That's next game is Sunday. Probably.
Yeah. Next game is a Sunday night game. San Francisco versus the Denver Broncos.
I'm picking San Fran. Strictly because Jimmy G's the starting quarterback, and Jimmy G finds ways to win the football games. And the opposing side has Russell Wilson as his quarterback, and Russell Wilson is not cooking this year at all so far. But I'm going to pick the 49ers. I think they have a solid defense who's going to give Russell Wilson fits. And I think Jimmy G is out to prove something. And I think he's going to continue to win games.
Yeah, the Broncos don't have a huge stout run defense, and the 49ers are just going to run the ball. Jimmy G is not going to make any mistakes, and they're just going to win the game in easy fashion. Russ is not cooking; he's ordering, and that is what Russ is doing. He is grub-hubbing all his meals.
Is Russell Wilson? I'll ask a question. This would be clear. Is Russell Wilson the most corniest football player in the NFL?
You can't call him corny because then people say we're calling him corny because his wife is not.
No.
Russell Wilson, as a football player.
So what's the right word? Where's the right word to say it's not corny?
Strictly based on football, he is corny as a football player. He does corny shit as a football player.
I hate when he walks into the stadium and hits up the guys.
Yeah. And calling
the invisible fans.
The visible fans, the fake play calling when he was hurt and not even playing in the game and running plays. Like, that's weird shit, and that's just attention seeking to me.
But the thing that got me laughing is these are grown men on the sidelines. He's like, "Come on, guys. I need you to say pass, or run. The defense needs to know. Scream it. If you see it's a pass, scream pass from the sideline. You see it's a run, scream run from the sideline. Defense needs to know. Like
Russell Wilson is the guy that never played but always wanted to be team captain. There's always one person like that on the team. Like thought he was a captain, had to be the captain, always spoke up, but never played at all. Russell Wilson is that guy, but he has skill, so he plays. So if I was his teammate, I'd be like, yo, this nigga is so annoying, bro. He is so annoying, bro. I hate it. I was like, yo, he's
there's
annoying.
reports that
but like, damn,
guys
he's
are
good.
some guys are like annoyed with him. Like,
yeah, he's so annoying. And then as you can see, all his old teammates don't like him. I'm picking San Fran to win this game. Like I said, easily. DL picks San Fran as well. Last game of the week, we have the Dallas Cowboys versus the New York Giants. And who you going with?
I'm going with the New York Football Giants. I like what they got going on, even though they're not utilizing one of their biggest talents at all.
He's hurt, so he's been in our lineup. So
still, but Saquon looks like he's all the way back. You're playing against Cooper Rush. I think the Giants are going to be 3-0 after this weekend and be in sole possession of first place in the NFC East. Well,
yeah,
no,
I agree.
The Eagles.
Yeah, they would because you have the Eagles win.
Well, so it wouldn't be sole possession, but they'd be tied.
Yeah, so I do have the Giants winning this game and being in sole possession because I have the Commanders winning that Eagles versus Commanders game. Cooper Rush is not going to be. I don't think he's going to be able to do anything week 2 like he did second week. Film is on him. He's there. And Lawrence Taylor will be in the building, and I just feel like they won't disappoint Lawrence Taylor in the building. So
Kayvon's not playing though, right?
Kayvon's not playing. He's not playing until I think week 6.
Okay. But I will say, Giants fans, I'm happy for you because I know you guys been really going through it the last couple of years. You guys have a lot of potential. I mean, 2-0 start is a good start for you guys for a year.
We ain't really play nobody yet, so what?
I don't care.
And they still ain't playing nobody yet, but we didn't think they would.
They got confidence. Anyway. That's all you need.
Yeah, they got confidence. Saquon's running the ball. Sterling Shepard, Slayton looks.
You got Kenny Galladay being a diva still, though. He wants to get traded.
I don't know why he's being a diva when he's not showing effort. So
he wants to get traded.
He also just think Daniel Jones sucks, which he does. So
he does suck.
Oh, so yeah, that is who I have winning that game. Yeah, this was a shorter episode. We just wanted to give you guys some quick content for this week. DL wasn't able to be here. Typically, we never do it when it's just the two of us, but got to get this content out. Got to let you guys know our thoughts. Got to entertain the people. So if it's only going to be two of us, then I guess it's just only going to have to be two of us. Sometimes we'll get Joe in here, and sometimes when it's not two of us. But yeah. So anything to say to people before we get up out of here?
No, I don't really got anything to say. I gotta figure out something to say though.
All right, man. Like I said, if you're on YouTube, make sure you hit that like button, comment, subscribe. Man, until next time, my name is Dwayne, and we will see you guys.